I'm Jake from the Kubz. Welcome back to reacting to the scary story animations. I got 3 good ones for you in today's episode. If you guys cool with that, you down with that? Everybody get ready and buckle up, because here we go! First video of today's episode is called Disney World Horror Story. This is supposed to be the happiest place on earth. Like, if you get scared here, there's no hope for anywhere else. This is the happiest place in the world!
Being a single mom is hard. Very hard. I hate my job. I have a slew of late pickup charges from my son's daycare, and my body has gone fat from years of fast food dinners and alcohol abuse. Every day is a struggle. My mind is a prison cell, and I lost the key to the door so long ago that I don't even care to look for it anymore.
Oh, that's poetic.
That is why when I
Sound like some Shakespeare.
Disney World through my company's annual raffle, I nearly cried tears of joy. Nothing good ever happens to my son and I. The list of our misfortunes are as long as my arm.
I mean, judging by the title of this video, I think you're gonna add this one to the list.
And this shit provided us with the one thing that we thought we would never recover: hope. Hope not just for a fun week, but hope that maybe the perpetual
kids on that chest looking like it gets watery before it gets creamy.
My husband left us 5 years ago would finally
Bro, close your eyes, man. What are you thinking about?
You can imagine my horror then when I lost my son during the final day of our trip. We were making our way.
How do you lose this red-headed shit nugget? He's the only guy looking like that in Disney World. I promise you.
I had to use the restroom. I told my son to sit on a nearby bench while I did my business. It then disappeared.
Nobody
into
looking
the
like
first
this
clean
kid.
Stall I could find.
I swear on Buddha.
When I exited the restroom a few minutes later, though, he was gone.
Girl looking like she got rat
Fear
teeth.
gripped me as I whirled my head around the scattered crowd, trying my best to locate him before he wandered out of sight. My efforts were futile, though. I spent the next 5 hours scouring the park in a panicked frenzy. No matter
I'm telling
how
you,
hard
this would never
I
happen
looked,
at
though,
Chuck E. Cheese. Like,
I
you gotta go to
couldn't
Chuck
find
E.
him.
Cheese. I'm putting stock in Chuck E. Cheese.
Just as I was about to call the police,
I'm doing it after this video,
I
matter
found
of
him
fact.
sitting on the
Look at
bench
this.
that I had left him on earlier that day. He was wearing a full-body Mickey Mouse costume, and I would have walked right past him if I hadn't recognized the worn-out Scooby-Doo backpack resting on his knees.
Nah, that ain't it.
His body was limp in my arms. If it wasn't for the steady rise and fall of his chest against my thigh, I would have thought he was unconscious.
Okay, this is getting creepy now.
Where have you been? I swear I looked all over Magic Kingdom for you. And where did you get that Mickey Mouse costume?
Do we have a problem?
Why don't you take off that mask? I want to see that you are okay. I reached down to pull off his mask, but he swatted my hands away with such force I staggered back a step. Never before had he hit me.
Okay, then that's definitely not your son.
The blow surprised me so much that I stood there, motionless on the sidewalk, for almost a minute. That's what happens to me sometimes when I get blows that surprise me.
You know what I'm saying?
I know you are scared, I said, but everything is all right now.
Fear. That's demon time right there. That's scary hours. Like, the look on that face, that's some soulless eyes. I've looked into soulless eyes before. That's the soulless eyes that these eyes have ever seen.
We're together again.
And I've seen some shit.
You're safe. Once again, no answer.
Then that's 3 strikes.
Why aren't you talking to me?
Not even talking, bitch slapping your hand away.
No answer.
Mickey Mouse costume. Come on now.
I tried for several more minutes to get him to respond, but I might as well have been talking to a mannequin.
Yeah, nobody wears a full-out Mickey Mouse
on the
costume
bench,
like that.
Staring off into the distance through his mouse eyes. The only time he would move was to swat my hands away every time I tried to remove his mask.
Bitch!
We sat on the bench for over an hour before I grabbed his hand and led him back to our hotel room. Luckily, he didn't resist as I maneuvered him through a crowd. To my surprise, he followed me with dog-like docility and even allowed me to tuck him into bed that night.
Alright, hold on. I just gotta say, can we zoom in on my face real quick? Can we just do like a slow zoom in real quick? This Mickey Mouse asshole's in the bed right now. This story is goddamn ridiculous. It's not ridiculous, it's goddamn ridiculous. Like, this is crazy. Like, I know Florida got that heat, so my guy got swamp ass for sure inside of that costume. It's at least 100 degrees in that bitch. And she just letting him sleep in there. We don't even know who's in that costume. Like, it could be Mickey Mouse himself, just trying to get some ass. Like, he saw her with that rat teeth and he was like, that's my kind. Like, I'm a mouse too. Like, shit, let's get into some freaky shit. Like, come on, why is this?
I debated that night whether to contact the park authorities about his disappearance and stolen suit, but decided against it. My gut was telling me that I should, but I was just too exhausted to prolong the matter. He seemed relatively unharmed for one thing, and we had to get to the airport by 6 the next morning.
Like I said, zoom in on my face. We're goddamn ridiculous. Zoom in on these teeth. We're goddamn ridiculous.
Calling the authorities would potentially extend our stay, and I couldn't afford to buy another pair of plane tickets. So
She was like, so I just
kept the
accepted
matter
that
to
my son was
myself
going to be in this costume
and drifted
forever.
off into a light sleep the moment my head hit the pillow.
Oh my god!
We arrived home
Yo, Mickey! Mickey getting freaky! Oh,
around
shit!
sunset the next afternoon.
Oh, God.
My son still wasn't talking.
Wait.
and
Wait.
continued to buy another pair of plane tickets.
Like, she was sleeping,
So
right?
I kept
And
the
then
matter to
Mickey,
myself.
he
and
was
drifted off into
horny.
a
Look,
light
look,
sleep
look,
the
look.
moment my head
Look
hit
at the way
pillow.
Mickey's looking. Oh! Bro had a blank stare the entire time. And he
We
just wants
arrived
to give
home
side eye
around
to his
sunset
side
the next
bay.
afternoon.
I know that's not the son.
My son still
So that's
wasn't
definitely side
talking,
bay.
and continued
And he's
to
still
swat
bitch
my
slapping
hands
the
away
arm
every
away.
time I
Alright.
tried to remove his costume. At this point, my concerns skyrocketed. Not only
Like, you
was
need to go
his
on Dr.
behavior
Phil.
so bizarre,
My son is
but
a
he
rat,
hadn't
and I
eaten or drank
can't
anything
change
in
it.
over
Like
a
something
day.
like that.
Unless he was sneaking food and water while I wasn't looking, he had to be on the brink of dehydration. I decided to take him to the doctor early that next morning.
Alright.
Something terrible had obviously happened to him while he was missing.
He's like,
and
ma'am, your
I
son has
feel like
come
a
up with a
failure
case of
mother
little
for waiting
bitchitis.
so long to get him
Uncurable.
help. When we arrived at the doctor's office, he threw such a
Oh my god. Oh god. Oh, I got choked up on the bullshit of this story.
fit that the nurses
Holy
had
crap.
to restrain him.
Oh, that's funny though.
No matter how hard they tried to remove his mask,
Like they
though,
restrained the
he
hands
always
too
found
because
a
I'm
way
pretty
to
sure he was
counter their
slapping the hands
efforts.
away too.
It was as if that thing was
that got me
plastered
hot.
onto his head.
Oh, that got me so hot.
Eventually, the doctor became so concerned that he decided to do an x-ray.
That's not a real doctor. That's a back alley doctor. Like that's the kind of doctor you go to see him and you walk away with 4 less
Told me
organs.
that it was the quickest way to assess his health through the costume.
Bro operates
and
with a
that they
chainsaw
would
and a
devise
hammer.
a plan while the x-ray process to remove his mask. I thanked him for his help and then watched as they escorted my son into another room. The doctor returned a few minutes later. His face was so pale.
I was
I
gonna
feared that
say
he might
like he's a
pass
different
out.
color. Is that
We
the same
finished
doc?
the x-ray, he said, voice shaky.
Your son is a rat.
Thank goodness, I said. Is he all right? The doctor stared at me for almost a minute without responding.
He's holding the Mickey Mouse
hand
head.
shaking.
Oh.
Is something wrong? His head and spinal cord are the only parts of him underneath the costume.
What?
The rest of his
Man.
body.
Yo,
missing.
hey, before we even finish this story, head and spinal cord are the only things that are attached to that Mickey Mouse body. You guys smell that? Guys smell? Wait, is it me? No, it's this story. It's bullshit! Come on now! You can't believe. Come on, lady. Really? No, we're gonna fade to black? No. Lady. Are you. Really?
I'm 20 years
Wow,
old
that was the end
and
of the
I work
story.
in a
Next story of today's episode is a creepy Tinder horror story. If you guys don't know what Tinder is, basically it's an app where you can meet people. I personally never used it, but let's see what this kind of horror story is about because I can imagine already.
Last
I
week,
can imagine what
broke
kind
up
of
with
horror.
my
It's already starting
boyfriend,
with
whom
somebody
I dated
crying.
for 3
All right, it's gonna get
years.
good.
Even though we weren't
It's gonna get
separated,
spicy.
I remained in touch with him as a friend.
All right, let me shut up.
He's a nice guy, but I just felt it wasn't working between us anymore. My best friend, Tina, suggested me to start casual dating again.
She looked like she talks shit behind people's backs.
She said it will help
She has
to
that
get over
vibe.
this breakup. To be honest, last 3 years I hardly went out with new people or socialized that bit. Speaking about casual dating, no app is appropriate than Tinder. At least that's what I used to believe. One evening after coming home from work, I sat down on my bed and registered on Tinder. After going through some guy's profile, I got bored for not finding a good match. and
Damn, she
eventually
basically called
dozed
you all
off.
weak.
The next day,
Gotta step
I
your
went
game
back
up,
to work
everybody.
when my friend Tina called me. Tina said, "Jill, you know what happened this morning?
What?
Tom called me and asked me how you were doing. I kind of told him that you were back to Tinder again, to kind of give him the idea that you have moved on.
She already has that face like, why would you do that, Tina?
I hope that wasn't too much from my side, right? Tina has always been like this.
I told
taking
you,
things
Tina
on her
looked
own
like she
hand all
talked
the
shit behind
time.
people's backs.
I expected something like this already, so I replied with an upset face, "Yeah, I will handle it. Bye," and disconnected the phone.
disconnected to the phone. Why don't you just say hang up? It's like when you turn the water on, it's not like I spun the faucet one way and water dripped out.
That night.
Come on,
and
just say that you
on
just
Tina's
turned off the
behalf.
phone or you ended the call.
Tom has
Like,
always been nice
I
to me.
disconnected the phone.
He said it.
Like when you go on the internet, like I clicked on a page and then I typed the words and then a website appeared. Like, come on, man. Just say I went on the internet, had a good time. Like,
In a
come
mature
on.
tone. It's okay, Jill. I got your signal. I wish you the best. But whenever you need, don't hesitate to contact me. Take care. I felt
Who's this
bad
mysterious
for him,
man?
but his sense of
He sounds kinda
understanding
hot.
made me admire him too. A few days passed, and I went on with my life. I started going out with my friends, and sometimes with their mutual friends, for a drink or movies.
You know she was talking mad shit before she got there about each of them. Like she was like ugly shirt, ugly hair, shirt tucked into pants too hard. Like she was talking the most.
One Sunday afternoon, I was chilling in my room when I received a request from a guy on Tinder. I opened his profile and started to check out his pictures. The guy wasn't that handsome.
Called you
but
ugly, bro.
He had a friendly face.
Part of the fugly
I
parade.
accepted his request, and we started chatting on Tinder. His name was Mark. He said he works in a department store close to my location.
So you think
We
shit
kind
sweet?
of hit it off. It seemed we
They
had
give me
quite
a
similar
discount?
tastes in music and food. Mark asked me out for a lunch date. We decided to meet the next day at a local restaurant. I reached the restaurant 5 minutes late and noticed Mark sitting at a corner table
Dude,
smiling
horny.
at me.
He just has
He
that
seemed
thirsty
attractive
face.
in real life. He had a good height and charming nature. His flirtatious nature was a bit edgy for a first date.
Hey,
But somehow,
come
I
on.
enjoyed his fresh attention
Relax with that.
after a long time. The date went well,
The date went well. What, 2 peas and a piece of hair?
and we decided to meet again sometime.
Oh, I don't even know what that was. Like, you can't explain that. That literally was 2 peas and something.
Mark started texting
What was
me
that?
regularly,
What,
and I too
shrimp?
kept responding.
Come on, dog.
One day, we were talking over the phone.
Man,
as
that's that department store
usual,
money.
When Mark asked
You know?
me, "So,
The
are
Mark
you in
money.
a relationship right now?"
He's like, hey,
I replied in an
that's
awkward
all I can
tone,
afford. 2 peas.
Well, if I was,
2
I
peas
wouldn't
and a
be
little-
talking to
little
you all this
dingleberry.
time. And
I'm sorry. Don't unsubscribe, please.
laughed a bit to loosen up
Don't,
the
don't.
conversation.
Just
Mark didn't respond to
joking.
my joking tone and said, "Love has become a joke these days, you know. You can hardly trust people." I realized
That's a weird
he
thing
might
to
have
say,
been through
Mark.
a really bad breakup, but I chose to stay out of his personal affairs. With more days passing,
What
Mark
is he
always
doing?
tried to slip into our conversations and how heartbreak is the worst thing to do to anyone. I felt
Was he
bad
putting
for
his
him,
heart near his
but
phone?
we kind of came a bit close.
Or his
One
phone
day,
near his heart?
Mark
You know what
asked
I
me
mean.
to go on a dinner date with him. He came to pick me up from my house. As I got into his car, I could smell booze on him. He didn't look drunk, but he told me he went for a few drinks earlier. It didn't worry me because he was on his best behavior so far. He was driving carefully too. Around 9 p.m., we reached the restaurant. We sat down and ordered the food. Mark said while smirking at me, "Hope you won't mind if I order some drinks." I actually didn't mind because it was good to see him having fun. Not a single time he talked about relationship issues. Instead, he was very much flirting with me. I was blushing with his compliments.
All right.
He
Okay,
drank
okay,
4
Mark, I
kegs of
see you.
whiskey in just half
Blush
an
game
hour.
activated.
Finally, I got a little bit worried and said, "You have to drive also. Don't forget that." Mark looked at me. His eyes got stuck at mine. The way he stared suddenly creeped me out. Then he said, "Jill, I really like you. I would like to take you home after dinner."
Whoa,
It has been
Mark.
quite a while I am going
You
out
really
with
think
him,
he got it like
so
that?
I kind of wanted to get close to him. But seeing him getting so drunk, I wasn't feeling that sure.
Yeah,
I fumbled and said,
that's pretty unattractive.
How far is your place?" He replied, "Not that far. Come on, let's go." I couldn't say no to him, even though his sudden behavior change seemed unusual to me. He got into his car and
That's a
started
tough
the engine.
situation to be in.
The roads were empty.
you know, like you want to say no, you don't feel quite comfortable with the person yet, but you like the person also. So how do you handle that? I think that you just gotta have a mature conversation with them and say, you know, I really like you, I'm comfortable with you, but I'm not ready to take that next level yet. But I know it's not that simple. That's why she said she didn't know how to respond. And
He
this
started
dude's
to
drunk,
speed up
right?
the car.
Yeah, he's
I got
speeding.
scared and said, "Mark, please drive slowly. You're scaring me."
She should have drove.
He looked at me and then started to chuckle, as if I said something very stupid.
What the
After
hell?
leaving the town, we got onto a dusty road.
Uh-oh.
I said, "I didn't know you live in the outskirts. How far now?"
Oh, shit.
Mark replied in a low but firm voice, "Almost near." We reached in front of a wooden house after 10 minutes.
Oh, God, no. Are you serious? As soon as you see the first board on the house, you
The
gotta
house
get out of it. You
appeared
gotta
quite
180
old
that.
and out of maintenance to
You
me.
gotta Uber.
The entire house was in darkness.
Bro, what
We
the?
got down from the car, and Mark said in a mocking voice, "Welcome to Lion's Den." He started to chuckle in the same manner. I thought it was all because of the alcohol in his stomach. As we got inside, Mark switched on the light. The house was really old. I could see a layer of dust on the couch and furniture in the living room.
If Mark points to that couch and says, this is where the magic happens, I'm gonna whoop his ass my damn self.
He took me upstairs. There was a bedroom and bathroom upstairs. The bedroom also appeared unclean and
That's
smelly.
dirty.
It
Gross.
felt like no one had cleaned the room for a while.
So, like, fresh shit
Mark
on the
told me
pillow.
to sit on the bed and went to the kitchen. I waited for a few seconds when suddenly I saw something shining under the pillow. As I lifted the pillow, my heart sunk in horror. There was a
Whoa,
sharp
okay,
knife under it.
okay. I
I
suspected
immediately
that.
got up and
Yeah, you
tiptoed
gotta
to the
go.
kitchen. As I peeked
Come on now.
inside, I saw
People have
Mark
brains.
mixing something
This
into a
2021.
glass of wine.
We know what's up.
Is this guy planning to drug me and then slit my throat?
Holy crap.
Oh god, I made a huge mistake. I was out of the idea. There was no way I could get out of this house because Mark locked the door using his house key. It felt
what
strange
the
for
hell?
me then, but I didn't care about it earlier. He got inside and looked at me with his wide eyes and smiled. His face was looking all evil. He then said in a spine-chilling, cold voice, "Here's your drink, Jill. Enjoy." I knew there's no way I can fight this guy and get out of this house alive.
She should have
So
threw the
a
knife
plan
somewhere.
came to mind. I said, thanks. Hey, can I use your bathroom for a sec?"
There you go.
Mark
There
replied,
you
"Of
go.
course, but don't make me wait too long,"
Say you're gonna freshen
and
up.
smirked at me. I got up and went to the bathroom. As soon as I locked the bathroom door, I dialed my ex-boyfriend, Tom. He picked up the phone and said, "What a surprise, Jill. So what's..." But before he could finish, I replied in a broken but low voice, "Please help me. This guy's trying to kill me. I need your help, Tom," and started whimpering. Tom replied in a panicked voice, "Oh shit, where are you? Share me your location." I shared with him my live location, and Tom said, "Listen, Jill, just hold on for some time. I am coming there as fast as possible." I stood inside the bathroom like a statue. I was completely freaked out and paranoid. Suddenly, a knock appeared on the bathroom door. I heard Mark's voice. "Jill, did you take something that is mine?" Mark said.
Oh, she hid the knife?
My hands turned cold. Oh my god, this guy now knows. He hasn't figured out that I've taken his knife with me.
Okay, good,
Mark started
good.
to bang
Very
on the door.
smart.
Come on
Very
out, doll.
smart.
I have planned a romantic night for us. Don't make me force you. The bathroom door was made of half glass and half wood. Hence, I could see Mark's figure leaning on the glass.
Ooh, that's creepy.
He almost stuck his entire face on the glass and said, "Jill, don't make me force you. Come out and give me my knife back." I started screaming and crying. "Please let me go." But what Mark did
Okay, at
next
that point,
shook me
Mark
from the
knows there's no
inside.
turning back.
He started banging on the glass with his head. Cracks started to appear on it, and blood splattered on the glass too. He was hitting the glass like a maniac,
Yo!
with his head screaming, "Open, open now." Suddenly, I saw Tom calling me. I picked up the call, and Tom said, "I'm here. Where are you?" I
He's
was in no
inside. I
position
mean,
to
she's
explain
inside.
further. I rushed to the bathroom window, and luckily it was open. Without giving it a second thought, I jumped. I hurt my ankle, but I saw Tom standing in his car on the road. I sprinted to him and got inside his car. I screamed with the top of my lungs, "Drive, Tom. Drive now. He drove the car away, and that night I took sleeping pills to sleep. Tom stayed back with me. It's been a few days since this incident. Last night, we sorted things out and are back together again.
Hey, let's get it.
I can't trust any unknown guy anymore. Tom is taking a shower right now in my bathroom. But suddenly a text has come to his phone. Reply from an unknown number. The text reads, "Got the payment, thanks."
What?
It is a reply to a text that Tom sent to this number. Tom has texted this
Is that
number
Mark?
last night. Got her back. Thanks for all the help. Sent you the money.
No! No! Wait! Are you freaking serious? So my man was in cahoots with that man the whole time and he was a paid actor? Markiplier was a paid actor? No, man, you can't do that. So this story went from breakup to hookup to something that could possibly happen because people are creepy on Tinder to it being like a fake thing the whole time. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, wouldn't she call the police and be like, he lives here in this house and this is what his name is, go arrest him because he tried to kill me, and then he would have gotten in deep shit, but it was all for this guy to just get paid, what, a couple $100 so he can help get this guy's girlfriend back? Like, come on now, you gotta be kidding me. You thought I was gonna say, what a twist, huh? You thought I was gonna say, don't lie. Next story of today's episode is a Dunkin Donuts horror story. Like, you can't even get donuts anymore without getting into a horror story.
After I finished college,
Like,
I
come
moved
on
out
now.
of my parents' house. I wanted a new life, sort of fresh and far away from my hometown.
Bro, sound like Dunkin Donut corpse right now.
It's not like I hated my parents or couldn't stand them in any way. They were great and supportive. I just wanted to escape this hole I was living in and finally taste the adult life. There was really nothing to do here, and I wanted to try life in a big city.
I promise you, as an adult man myself, sometimes the adult life does not taste good.
Unfortunately, after a month, I was already running out of money. I couldn't find a job in my industry, so
Dusty ass
I had
wallet.
to settle for anything that could pay my rent for the next
Cobweb
month.
type shit.
The
Put that thing
closest
back.
job to me was at a Dunkin Donuts. I applied for this job and I was immediately hired. The first few weeks were hard, but later I actually enjoyed working there.
How is it hard? All you gotta do is make the freaking donuts and give them the donuts that they asked
I
for.
met some awesome people. One of them was Nina. We were getting along
What's up,
so
Nina?
well that we requested our supervisor to always sign us both in on the same shift.
Hey,
It was never
Friend
that busy
gang.
there, so we spent most of our time talking and gossiping. She was a really happy person, and I was in a similar position in life as me. Her parents kicked her out of the house when she was 18, but she had to work hard to finish her education and pay rent. I always supported her, and she gave me as much as she could back. We really became best friends. And that's how my life was. I was working at Dunkin' for about half a year now, and things were going great until a really strange man appeared into my life.
freaking
He would
Walking
always
Dead type
visit us on
dude.
Friday evenings, and this
God damn.
consistency only
Got a
added
bald
to the
spot like
creepiness of his
Shuichi.
behavior. He used to order a cappuccino with one chocolate ring donut every single time. He was always wearing the same clothes, which was really weird and gross.
Yeah, can you order a
It
new
was a
wool
hideous
sweater
green jacket
with no blood,
brown
please?
stains and dirty, roughed-up blue trousers. After making an order, he would always sit in the same exact table and would stare at me and Nina intensely. Of course, this never really bothered me at first. I considered myself a pretty decent-looking girl and have had a man's eye in my body here and there. But the way this man was staring at me,
That's not eyeing the
there
body.
was something disgusting
That's
about it.
channeling like
Made me sick
all
to my
12
stomach.
demons.
I think it was more uncomfortable for Nina than me. She got really scared of him and told me she was afraid of him. But
I'd be
one
afraid
day,
too,
He
shit.
stayed longer than usual.
Eyes going like
It
that,
was
like
almost
boing,
closing
boing,
hour,
boing type
and
stuff.
there were no more other customers. It was raining outside,
foaming
and
at the mouth?
Nina and I were sitting behind the counter and
Got
talking
like 4
as
teeth,
usual.
all separated,
I was
all
getting
yellow.
really annoyed because I knew I was the one with the key. I had to close the door. Our manager had already left the building by now, and it was just Nina, the man, and I. But right as I was going to go up to him and ask him to leave, he stood up and came to the counter. "How can I help you? Do you want anything else?" I asked. "I'm not hungry," he said, and there was a really long, awkward silence. I didn't really know what to say, so I just stared at the floor and waited for him to say something. "But I'm horny."
Oh my god, bro! Can somebody punch this man for me,
He
please?
said, laughing. At that point, I
Oh
was so
my
anxious
god,
and
he's
embarrassed.
horngry.
I didn't even say anything back
Oh,
because I was
Jesus.
just so confused and taken aback.
Actually, I'm not gonna say, oh Jesus. Can we just cue in the Saikuno? Oh Jesus! Thank you.
"Come on, I was joking," the man said. I've been visiting this place from time to time, and I noticed a really pretty lady here. I'd love to get to know her closer, if you know what I mean. He laughed awkwardly.
What the fuck?
Nina and I looked at each other with wide eyes.
Ain't nobody giving you
I turned my
anything
head
with
back
that
to the man
face.
and told him, sorry, but I'm seeing someone. I'm not talking about you, the man said, but your friend over there. Can you ask her for her number? He then started to stare at me,
Oh,
eyes
God.
and mouth wide open. It took me a second or two to realize,
God, this is
but
the
I noticed
freakiest
his
man I've
arm
ever
was shuffling
seen.
around. You better leave right now, or I'm calling the police, I screamed. Nina was about to cry, but I stayed strong and tried to protect
poor
her.
girl.
He tried to jump over the counter and grab Nina, but
Yo, what
thankfully
the
I knocked
hell?
him over the edge and he landed on his head. We ran. We ran as fast as we could. We never looked back. When we got to safety, we called our manager, who called the police. The cops were quick in telling us that the man had gotten away, and they closed the case shortly after because there was really nothing they could do.
Assholes.
As disappointing as this was, Nina and I were just happy that the man was off our backs.
Hopefully they
It
quit
seemed
that
like
job.
things would go back to normal. A few days passed by and I almost forgot about him. Everything seemed to be back to normal and I enjoyed working with my best friend as a barista. Eventually, Nina and I had another closing shift. The day was ending and we were cleaning up the tables
No,
and preparing
not
the building
again.
to get locked up. Nina eventually left for her usual smoke break. She left her stuff inside and went out through the back door, popped open a cigarette. After about half an hour, I realized that Nina still wasn't back in the
crap.
store. This was odd. It would usually take Nina only about 10 minutes to take a cigarette break, and she'd never just leave work like this.
Oh,
not with her
crap.
stuff left behind anyways. It made no sense. Her phone and her wallet were still in the store.
That realization on
I
her
then
face.
remembered the man, and my heart and mind started to race. I instantly started worrying for the worst.
Then go
I
check.
looked in the back of
Oh,
the store and she wasn't there. I looked in the back patio and there was no sign of her. Just a still lit cigarette lying on the ground. I called my manager and he called the police. We searched all night for her, looked up and down and couldn't seem to find her. It made no sense. Even the police were stumped. It's like she disappeared into thin air. That night, I could barely sleep. I knew the police were handling it, but I just wanted to know where she was.
Hopefully
How could
they
she
find
disappear
her.
like this? A few grim and horrible days went by, and I got the news, but it wasn't the news I wanted.
Oh, crap.
Nina was found dead in the woods, her body stripped half naked. She was violated
Oh
and
my
murdered,
God.
and we all knew who the
Dude, her ankle got snapped in half?
The police found the man not far away from the crime scene. He was staying in an old, dingy trailer. The man got
Yo,
life
this
in
is
prison,
messed up.
but this wouldn't fix the years of PTSD and mental health issues I'd have following this. I soon quit my job at Dunkin. It was the right thing to do. I couldn't
Obviously.
work there. Not after what happened to Nina.
All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode of Reacting to these Scary Animations. Check out all the channels that I reacted to in the description box below. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you didn't want more, make sure you give this video one big fat like. And tell a friend today that Jay from the Kubz Scouts is that dude.